So how's it going? I think it's recording. Better be. So yeah, Andy here, industrial design for low rider motorcycle. So I just spent tens of thousands of dollars to try and develop a product, a quick release system for the MotoBags, and had to scrap it. And it was a lot of work, months of work and research and development, and turns out yeah, it just didn't fit. So I printed out and tested these parts. I printed it out in 3D printer before we actually invested in tooling, and we got to the point where it was actually ready for tooling. We got down to the details. We did all the drawings and everything like this, but it didn't work. And so we've moved on quickly. I've put together another product, which is far superior. And yeah, looking back, it's not a waste of time because it's the design process to get to this point. But we've saved ourselves and our clients a lot of pain, and just made it a lot easier for the clients just to use the product, not think about it. It works, it locks, it does everything it needs to do. Yeah, so I want to introduce you to the new concept today and get your feedback possibly about it. So this is the old design here. It was the hook-based system. So as you see, we had two hooks at the bottom, and then we had an automatic closing. This was like a living hinge which clamps on to this is plastic, clamps onto the pipe to hold it in place. We had two stoppers here to stop it moving left and right, up and down. And then we had this whole contraption here of this would move up. I'm not sure if this moved. Yeah, it does. So it moves up and down, and it would lock in place. So it was pretty easy. It was a good system. It would have worked quite well, but quite fiddly. The client would have had to put on all these screws. A lot of assembly is required, and it had to be in the exact right position for the rack. So after testing it, yeah, it's not the best. It wouldn't have been the best situation for the clients or the best usage. So I want to introduce you to the next design, and this is kind of more like a wedge system. It uses four small wedges here to clip into place. So what we do is we have the back plate and we have a fixed plate onto the rack. So that's the rack, that's a flat rack, and we've got a bent rack, that's for the Africa Twins and the BMWs out there. And so basically there's a plate that fits onto the rack with the puck systems that we already have. And from there we can just lift off the whole motor bag like that. So if you look at it without the bag, so right, there we go. So basically it's fixed with four pucks, 1, 2, 3, 4. This can also move up and down and be adjusted. And then we've got a locking system up the top here. So basically all you need to do on the back of the motor bag, what you'll see is when it's off the bike, there'll be a handle here as well. It's quite important. I'll put a handle here. But there's basically 4 points. There's this four, I'm not sure what you call them, kind of like, yeah, hooks, round hooks that slots into place, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's kind of like a key lock here, that's all there is basically, which is really clean, very easy. And what that does is it goes simply it goes inside these hooks here into these holes and locates in place. So it sits down and locks in place. So these will be metal, and this part here will be a nylon sheet, and that would probably be, at this stage, we will fraise it out, which means like machine it. So fräsen is German for machining. So basically what we've got here is an easy system. Basically, basically the thing is for you, what you need to know is that if you have the bag and you want it on your bike, all you have to do is lift the bag up and put it into, locate it into these holes, which they're quite big. You shouldn't have a problem, they're huge. So it wouldn't be that difficult to align it. And then chuck it in and it'll just sit in place, and that's it. There's a locking system which works. This one here is this moves across and back. This has got a spring inside. What happens is when you drop the bag on, it opens up itself. Once it passes a certain point, it locks in place and it closes. So basically, once you drop it on, you can ride. you can ride off and it'll stay in place. To add an extra layer of security, all you need to do is push this lock down, and you are locked onto the bike. The bag's locked onto the bike. Pretty simple. And to unlock it, you just use the key, pull this to the left, and lift the bag, and it's off. So it's a really basic system. That's what you need. It's simple. It's taken quite a while to develop this one as well. Engineering is quite complicated. It is on a bike, it is on a road, and it is vibrating the whole time, so it's making it secure. So what I'll do is I will hide this part, back plate, and then you're left with this. So that's what you see on the bike. It'll be on the bike the whole time, unless you want to take the pucks off and remove it to put some other luggage on, but basically that's it. There's a locking system there. If I make this one transparent, what you'll see is, I should open up this whole thing. It might be easier to do. Where are we here? So, fast computer today, let's change that to transparency. So basically when this center part comes down, it goes down, it hits this piece of metal, and the metal is pushed across to the maximum point, which is about there. So it opens up the gate. Once the metal part on the motor bag is here underneath, it'll push back using this spring here, and it'll push back into place. It locks it in place. So that's basically it. And on the back here, you've got kind of like a push lock. So if you push this down, it'll push past this stopper bar here, and you can't open it any further. That's it. It's not needed. I mean, it locks in place. You don't need it, but it'll save, because I think it should be automatically locking, basically, because people will forget. They'll put the bag on and drive off and forget, and they could come off. So, and we don't want that to happen. So I invented like this kind of automatic locking system just to be safe. So that's basically it. That's the update. What I'm going to do now is make sure this model works. I've 3D printed off all the parts, or most of the parts, all these small parts here, and now I want to 3D print this one off, the main one, but it takes 24 hours to print, so it's quite a big job, and it uses a lot of energy and materials, so I want to get it right first pop. So now I'm going to go through, double check everything, make sure there's no conflicting issues with the engineering, and make a prototype. And once we've got made a prototype and I can confirm it works, then I'm going to send it off to the supplier and try and find or source a supplier to make this, and try and get some samples made, and get the samples made and start testing in the real world. That's the update. Thanks for your time. Take it easy. Talk to you soon.